ever bought it, purchased. 12-volt chemo, 3/8 ratchet. Just hasn't died on me. I have a line of them. Chemo products. Chemo has a line of tools. So, yeah, there's that. Alright, so I added another panel. Now I got 300 watts. I had 200 watts. I drove across the country with 200 watts. Now I got 300 watts. However, I recorded myself taking the old ones off and then, or whatever, just taking the panels off and then putting on a third panel and doing the whole thing. However, I was using a GoPro Hero 5 Session, which is a little cube, doesn't have a removable battery, takes about an hour and a half to charge it. And I did this all in the Home Depot parking lot where I'm still currently at. And yeah, I don't have much time to get it done. So let's go take a look at what I did and I'll explain it to you. So when you watch the footage, you'll see that I used to have a 2x3 running down the whole length, basically where this angle iron is. What you're looking at here is called perforated angle iron. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's, cost you about $13-ish a piece. These are 5-foot lengths. I did not cut or trim the end of them. These bolts come right through the roof, straight from the cross members that go across the roof, right? There's so many of them. I think there's about 4. These are gonna go straight through. We got the same washer set up inside, and then we got the same up here. So this is bolted down, crushing right into the roof. So this is stable by itself. And then as far as the way it's attached, we have a nut and a washer. The angle iron sits right on top of that. And then we're just clamping it down, locking it in place with another washer, lock washer, nut setup. And we do that 4 times on the 4 corners. The panels themselves, we have 3 of them. The panels themselves have 2 bolts coming out of the sides. So I basically drilled holes right like this, just like that. I drilled holes, there's one down there and one down here, because that's how they originally attached. You can see the footprint or whatever of where the 2x3 was. And I also siliconed it down around the holes and then the outside edges. So getting the wood off was an absolute nightmare. And then I had pieces of angle iron like this that I cut up. So I had small little strips. They were nut and bolted into the panel and then screwed into like 2.5-inch or 2-inch long wood screws, thick number 8s, right into the wood. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4. So each panel was bolted down 4 times. Each panel had its own 4 legs. Instead of just taking the 3rd panel and dropping it down on top of the wood, like these were, and just bolting it down, I tore it all apart, tore all the wood off. You can see the silicone back there where the wood was. So with all that said, we have 300 watts. You can see that I have all this space. I could very much well easily come down to here, gaining another foot, but I still have I still got room for a 4th panel between the panel, the last one, and the vent, there is enough room. These panels are only 19 point something inches wide. So yes, I could fit a whole nother panel down there, and I will. So each panel is individually nut and bolted right through the angle iron. Two nuts and bolts per panel. But that's it. That's what I did. And let me tell you something. It's absolutely amazing. However, it's a whole living in the Southwest. If I had 300 watts of panels on my roof and I was living in Boston, it would be very hit or miss. I mean, right now, as far as the weather in Boston, it's a little bit sunny, and that's great, but it's not consistent. So you would have several days where you have sun and you're charging like I am now, and then you're gonna run into days and weeks where it's just cloudy every single day and raining every single day, and I can't see how that would work. So with all that said, let's go take a look at what that looks like at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it is currently about 1 p.m. I got 15.7 amps. Again, this is March. This is the end of March. The sun is still on an angle in the sky, which I will show you in a minute. But 15.7 amps and a fully charged battery, and I didn't run a generator. I don't know what that means. This is absolutely amazing to me, and I'm just like so excited. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pause right here, and I'm just going to try to chew up as much battery as I can by plugging in more things and see what is the maximum input we can get from those solar panels, and I'll be right back. Okay. So it's really hot in here because the PlayStation and the laptop and the sun, everything is just creating massive amounts of heat. So let me tell you what's going on right now. So the MacBook is going, the PlayStation is on, which I already know is about almost 11 amps. That is about, no, it's not 11 amps. It's like 9-ish amps. And the MacBook pulls about 7.5 to 8 amps. So we got the fan on max, we're charging a watch, we got the lights on, and oh, we got that light on over there. So right now from the sun we got 16.3 amps coming in, as is, with all the power usage. We're gonna shut the fan off because so you can hear me. 16.2 amps coming in from the sun, which is huge. I don't even know how I would be able to use that. I wouldn't be able to use it actually, because I'm not pulling that much right now. The difference between what's coming and what I'm using is 800 milliamps, which is less than 1 amp. So that's 1 amp right there, and then 856 is just less than an amp. 1,000 milliamps equals 1 amp. That's what we're using. That's the difference between here and there. So we're actually like 15 in change, roughly, as far as what we're pulling. So with all that said, we're going to shut the PlayStation off. PlayStation's going to sleep, and then we're going to disconnect that. We're going to shut off this light. I'm going to shut off the interior lights. Still getting 16.1 amps. Still, we are pulling like 4.5 amps. That's the difference right now. And that's going to be just some residual draw. There we go. So so right now we are at 15.9. And the reason why we're dropping is because the controller is measuring the depth of the state of charge in the battery, right? And that's going to continue to drop because, as you've seen, that just went black. So the battery is almost fully charged and climbing, 13.8. So as that becomes more and more charged, the input from the controller is going to drop, and eventually it'll drop all the way to 0. So we won't be getting anything in, because if we did, we would be... So this is exactly what we're getting, because our inverter is going to use at this point about an amp, maybe 1.2 amps, until it just kind of really quiets down. And then it's going to hover around a half amp, about 480 milliamps. So right now we're getting, from the panels, we're getting that. But the difference between that and what we're using is 14.4. And just some losses between residual power, which is mostly the inverter. And then that's it. So that is my experience with solar, and that's what's been going on lately, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. Like, I can't believe that I don't charge batteries. I don't fire up a generator and I charge batteries, and it's weird to me. I've never really been, I was just always very neutral with solar panels. I never had a true opinion because I never had them. I never used them. So it wasn't like, oh, solar would be awesome. The idea of it was great. It was like, oh, I mean, I remember when I used to say, imagine living in the Southwest and it's sunny every day and you got solar panels and you don't have to live off a generator. But I wasn't living like that at the time of saying it or imagining it. What you are living in is the reality where I'm draining down my batteries every night because computers and watches and cell phones and lighting and heat. So I wasn't used to all that. Generators were just a normal thing to me. I basically burn up my batteries all night long, and then in the morning I would be really, really low and trying not to kill my batteries, you know, below 50%. My lead acid batteries, now I have lithium. I just wake up in the morning and fire up the generator, and then it was a normal thing to go fill up the diesel heater and fill up the generator and charge my batteries all day. But I've been here for a month, and I used my generator once because we had 2 back-to-back cloudy days that was like rain 2 days in a row, like Massachusetts. But whatever, that's an occurrence that you'll pray for one day and it'll never come again. That was it, and I really brought my battery down, and I had to fire up a generator in order to bring it back up, and that was the last time. So out of an entire month, I used my generator one time to bring my batteries back, and I'm wondering, like, did I have to? Or maybe I could have just said, oh, batteries are really low, I need to just chill out, and then, like, that's it. Wait till the sun comes out. I mean, if I didn't have a generator, that's what I would have to do, right? So my generator's just back there rotting. I guess it's waiting for the AC that's going to power eventually. I don't know. We'll have to see what living in triple-digit weather is going to be like in a van. I'm already thinking it's impossible without AC or a really large fan, like a fan, something that's going to draw hundreds of amps, hundreds of watts. I don't know. We'll have to see. But with all that said, I now have 300 watts. I will have 400 watts definitely, and I'm just having a great experience with solar. I never realized, like I said, hate to repeat myself, but I do because that's what I do. Yes, hi, I'm here. This is my bird friends. I never had solar, and I never had that experience of solar. And now that I do, it's just absolutely amazing. And I just, you know, but again, if I'm in Massachusetts, I'm going to have wonderful days where I got free electricity, but then that goes away, and then you have days and sometimes even weeks where it's just clouds and rain, literally, from now until July. Because in order to have weather, it's like sunny every day, and you're like mad at the sun. That's July. Yeah, it wouldn't be the same experience. I would still be running out of battery. I would still have to charge it. Then I would have, you know, great sunny days, maybe a whole sunny week, or at least, you know, 3 or 4 days straight. That's wonderful. And then on the 5th day, you drain out your battery, and on the 6th day, it's dark, rainy day, and you have no juice, and then, you know. So, anyways, the Southwest is amazing. I love it. It's great. Sunny every day. I got free electricity. Yeah, this is what 300 watts is like. 16.3 amps at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. and it's just, yeah, this is good stuff. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you drop a like and especially leave a comment.